Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Recon 4761 coming to you from the Rated F Gaming Studios here in Chicago. And we're live and we're on the air this afternoon. It's about what, 2:35? I don't know what time it is where you're at, but that's the time it is here at the Rated F Gaming Studio, the new studio at that Studio B that we've been working on, and it's finished this past weekend. I don't know if you heard my podcast that I did a couple days ago about the setup here, but it's unique, it's different, it's something nice. I was just explaining in my previous podcast that, I could put a little extra equipment in here and have a radio station up and running and stuff like that, but I'm going to keep it simple and just use it for podcasting, music, productions, do voice voiceovers, commercials, our own production company, keep it all in house and stuff like that instead of going outside, which is what we did in previous months back in 2015. And I said that in my earlier podcast show that I did. Other than that, today is a great day here in Chicago. 40 degrees, not compared to the last couple of days where you couldn't even get out and you had to bundle up like a snowman and stuff like that. But everything is great. What can I say? I got a little news that I want to bring to you as far as what's going on in the gaming industry. I was reading an article last night with Snoop Dogg threatened to cross over to PlayStation because he got kind of upset because Xbox went out on him. I guess he was playing some games and getting his buzz on, as you would say, and then it went out in the middle of a gameplay and he got furious and he took to social media to talk about it and said, well, I'm leaving. And I'm like, okay, what makes you think where you're going is even better? Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock the other, network, stuff like that. I used to be on PlayStation at one time, but I had bad experience with them also, in a couple of years where my account got hacked a couple times. And I say, you know what, enough is enough. You get what you paid for, especially when it's a free service. Stuff like that's going to happen. So ever since then, I crossed over to Xbox Live, and I've been over here. It has both, providers have their ups and downs. You can't justify one or the other. I'm happy where I'm at. Let's just put it this way. My comment was to that I posted under his comment was basically, okay, go for it, but I'll guarantee you'll be back in a week. But that's the way I left that. Other news as far as in the gaming industry is the latest on MLG. I don't know if you saw my YouTube video explaining to you what happened with MLG. The long competitive gaming, arena sport has faded out. Apparently they were bought out by Activision and Blizzard, jumped in because they were in debt. They're not going to give too much information on why, or this. You have to dig pretty deep to get the full story on what really happened. But they were having money issues, money problems. And to me, I'll be honest with you, my opinion on that is like, come on, you're in a competitive sport, a big market that, especially the gaming industry, everybody makes money. And it depends on how you manage and how you run it. And I just found that kind of like weird and kind of odd that they would go down or go under after, I think it's 11 or 12 years. MLG has been around. It could be longer than that. I haven't done but yeah, they were in the hole, just basically at that. And Activision and Blazer put a lot of money into them and put behind them, like basically saying that they were going to step in and buy them out, and they put up like $46, million dollars, and because they got stuff, a lot of money invested in them. I'm talking about they got like monitors, keyboards, games, tournaments coming up. I looked deeper into it, and basically they were like actually building an arena in Asia at that, an MLG arena, sports arena. Because Asia right now is kind of like taking over the gaming industry. They're making like 200. They're in the billions as far as game sales and stuff like that. And we're kind of even. United States and Asia is kind of even. But they were stating that in the next, like in 2020 2020, Asia was going to be top when it comes to gaming and PC, and the United States was going to be second. But then you get, and I had a statistic and a chart showing all of that, and that's something I'm going to bring up in my video that I post on YouTube this week about that. Telling people about, the global marketing and global sales when it comes to gaming and stuff like that, because a lot of people still today feel that gaming is a waste of time and a waste of money, and people knock it before they're looking into it or doing any research on the gaming industry. And a lot of people don't really hear about it until it's broadcast on a local news station, or they come across an article in the paper or stuff like that, or somebody brings it up and they still don't believe it. A lot of people feel that it's a violent game, it's bad influence on their kids and stuff like that. And my thing is, I've been working hard to, let people know that the gaming industry is not like that. It's a fun, mind relaxing sports to help you relax, help you relieve stress and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't see it that way. But everybody has their own opinion, about the gaming industry. I can't sit here and hypnotize you to make you see things differently. But oh well. I know that I've been in it for quite some time. I've been doing this since I turned pro in 2009 when I went to my first E3 tournament out in LA, and it was with Virgin Gaming, and it was a pretty fun, crazy sports when I was playing NBA 2K. I don't know what was it. I would say NBA 2K10 or 11, and they put me up against somebody that I wasn't very comfortable with, and that was a real crazy experience. I mean, it was like they put me up against this person, and I kind of felt bad, and they said, "No, you got to play it out." And I'm like, "What do you mean I got to play it out?" They said, "No, you can't hold back. You got to play it like you were sitting at home on your couch or wherever it is and play it." And I'm like, "Man, seriously?" And I did, and I kind of felt bad in the end. And it turned out that I won a Kobe Bryant jersey, a basketball, and a couple other little goodies, like a swag pack or something like that. And I actually gave it to that person that I competed and beat because, come on, man, I'm from Chicago. I'm a Bulls fan, and I wasn't going to take that back. And, I told that story to quite a few people, and they were basically saying, "Man, you could have took that and sold it or put it on eBay or something like that." And I'm like, nah, the person really wanted it that I was going up against, and she wanted it for her son who was graduating from high school. So it turned out, pretty good. But, yeah, I mean, that was my first experience at E3 back in 2010, I believe. Yeah, 2010, and I've been going to E3 ever since then. This year I'm kind of debating if I'm going to go or not, because I've been going every year. In the last couple of years, the city of Chicago, I was representing I forgot what it's called, but I knew somebody that worked for the Chicago Borough, Chicago Tourism and Borough, and they got me in for the last 4 years at that. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went and represent Chicago, even though we don't have a big gaming community here. The only time you actually see Chicago gamers is like when you have a big opening like at Best Buy or GameStop, and you're like, man, where'd all these gamers come from? They weren't here. I didn't even think we had gamers in Chicago. And that's true. That's a true fact. The only time you see gamers come out is like when they have a big game release, like Call of Duty or some type of tournament. And Chicago is not known for a lot of tournaments, especially this part. And that's what I keep telling a lot of, business people and business association and gaming clients and people that I talk to. I'm like, Chicago is like one big open gaming pie. I mean, you could have it all to yourself here because there's nobody here to compete with too much. You don't have that many gaming companies. You don't have that many, how would you say, like LA does. The West Coast has everything as far as gaming-wise. You have a lot of gaming companies down there to work with. They have a lot of tournaments. They have a lot of gaming matches going on. And here in Chicago, in this part, you really don't have that unless you sit down with someone and discuss putting that together. I mean, a couple of years back, I was even thinking about bringing a gaming convention in here. I mean, because, Chicago needs that. I mean, it's a big market. Come on now. You got Google here. You got Yahoo. I mean, why not? They're trying to make it the next tech hub especially downtown and stuff like that. I mean, Chicago's a big market. I think it'd go over pretty well, but I guess a lot of people don't see it like that. But I'm trying to change things. I'm trying to do my part as much as possible, trying to bring gaming and keep um, it informed and open up the market here in Chicago. And I don't have too much of a competition because honestly, I was actually thinking of moving to the West Coast, packing up my Rated F Gaming and going out there. But people were telling me basically, why? What for? I mean, you got the whole pie to yourself. You don't have any competition. You don't have to compete against any other. And I thought about it for a while. I mean, I was going to make this move last year, and I put a lot of time and money into where I'm at now. And I don't know. It just, maybe in another year, I was looking at some other articles on social media. Uh, Another company that's doing radio blogging and podcasting and stuff like that, and he's another local gaming company that broadcasts and does his show on the air and stuff like that. And he posted up that he reached his certain amount of gold as far as like listeners and viewers and people that he had pulled in, and he was thinking about expanding, and making a big move to LA. And I'm like, okay, I mean, we need more people here to help Chicago. I don't know, like I said, my thing is it's still 50-50 with me. I'm still kind of debating. I want to see how things go in the next 6 to maybe another year and see what happens here and stuff like that, and if nothing really changes and stuff like that. Because, I mean, I'll be honest with you, there's not too much of a big following here in Chicago, and most of the people that do follow me are most of the, my social media and gamers and the people that are following me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, Twitch, YouTube gaming. Believe it or not, 90% of those people are from the West Coast. Most of my gamer friends and associates are all West Coast, from San Diego to LA, San Francisco, and stuff like that. And I have very few here in Chicago. And that's kind of like, wow. So, and I'm like, yeah, Rated F Gaming fan base is basically all West Coast, and we have maybe a handful out of Chicago. And that's just basically local friends that like, hey man, so you got a YouTube video out? Yeah, want to check it out? Here, boom. And that's basically it, through word of mouth or just little gatherings or little social stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have a place called Ignite, and I'm not going to go ahead and give them any pub or publicity because, if they want to throw some goodies my way, then I'll pub them up. But anyway, it's a gaming club, where people go to, and it's nothing big. I mean, they have their little tournaments and stuff like that, but it's not like what they do at the West Coast. And, and I try to tell people, man, I said, look, the gaming industry is, I mean, you have to go to E3 to get the feel of what it's like. Because it's like DJs, it's music, it's people, it's like one big party under one big roof. And it's not like a club party. It's like E3 is like the size of almost 3, 4, 5, 6 football fields. And it takes days just to walk around because you have Xbox and Sony and Nintendo that have their own space. And 60-70% of the time when I do go to E3, I'm chilling and running through the whole Xbox setup for 2 days. That's how huge the thing is. I don't even get a chance to even swing over to Nintendo's booth, the Nintendo's area. I don't even get a chance sometimes to even stop by PlayStation. And that's what happened when I went last year. It was just like, I spent like 60-70%, almost a day and a half or 2 days just hanging out at the Sony area. And then I found, Xbox area. Then I finally swung over and, me and my son, and we checked out, Sony for like whatever, I think it was the third day, because E3 goes for 3 days. So the first 2 days we were at the, like I said, Xbox, and then the third day, which was like the end of the day, we hung out at the Sony booth. And then we swung a little bit peek into Nintendo's booth and stuff like that. But like I said, we're going to see, where our funding is this year as far as like making a special appearance, because a lot of people like, whoa, do you get free passes? And a lot of people don't understand how E3 works. They gotten real strict. And I'm going to break it down to you in a little short little sentence here how E3 works. I mean, E3 gives out free passes, but you got to produce a lot of paperwork that you're a legit company. You got to show some tax ID numbers. You got to show, registration. You got to show, because before E3 was real easy to get into. I mean, kids were getting into E3, but everything gets messed up. A good thing, people take advantage of it and start just making copies of badges. They were letting kids in which shouldn't be there. They were selling their badges to other people after some people stayed only for the first day. Then they would sell their badges to on the street for a couple of $100 or whoever, how much. And they messed it up to the point where they took a good thing and they just screwed it all up. So now it's real strict. I mean, when I go, it's because I pay for my badge. Before, like I said, I was getting it for free from the city of Chicago for a couple of years, but the funding for that cut out, and then they cut out a lot of things here. You know how it works in the system. Cutbacks in every different city. So after the first couple of years, I paid for my badge. I put it aside. When I do jobs and stuff like that, I save up for it. Because a lot of people are like, oh, you got to be rich to go to E3. Nah, you ain't got to be rich to go to E3. You just got to plan it just like a vacation. I mean, it's that simple. You tuck it away. Like right now, I'm planning for E3. I mean, E3 is not just like you go the next week or the next month. You got to start now. If you're planning to go to E3, you got to start tucking money away, because you got to remember, you got airline ticket. That pass right now is $795 if you get it now, and that's up until April 30th. Now, if you wait after April 30th, it's $1,000 up front. That's how much a 3-day pass is at E3. Then you got to remember the ticket to go back and forth. Then the hotel, of course. So it depends on how long you're going to stay out in LA for E3. Some people, E3 is a 3-day event that starts on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Some people, like I said, they come in, they stay one day, they fly back out. I usually when I go to E3, I come in on a Monday and I just chill. But this year if I plan on going, I'm going to come in on a Sunday and chill for a couple days, and then fly out like, maybe Saturday or Friday. It depends. Like I said, it's going to be me and my son, because we're Rated F Gaming. It's a father and son business. So we're going to go out there and make our special appearance, let the gaming industry know that Rated F Gaming is we've been around a while, but like I said, we just changed our name. So we're going to go out there and represent, Rated F Gaming. Like I said, if you guys want to check it out, you just go to e3.com, because matter of fact, they sent me an email just last week saying 10% off on early registration. And I sat down and did some calculations on that. It was like $795. If I took the 10% off of that, that was $715. So actually, would save on 2 tickets. That's like almost over 160 something like dollars. But honestly, I just don't have it right now, because right after you came, you're talking about coming out of Christmas, for the New Year's, all the money's been spent. And then, like I said, we did upgrades here in the studio and stuff like that, and we dropped a good amount of money doing upgrades, especially with this recording studio, which is Rated F Gaming Studio B. So we had to do that, because that's something that was a plus that we needed to do. And like I said, I'm sitting in it now, making my first, this is the second podcast. The first one was a recording. I figured, what the hell, what I got to lose? I'm going to go on the air, try it out and see how it works for the first time. And the first podcast I did with my cell phone, my Samsung Galaxy S6. So I said, I'm going to hook up the mic, do the live on the air podcast with the equipment we just bought and stuff like that, and see how that works. So, like I said, I don't know how it's working or whatever the feedback, because I really can't tell. I could just see from the screen that I'm looking on in here that I've been on the air for 19 minutes and 48 seconds, and then it's got the little red light that says you're on the air. But maybe I should put some commercials in and stuff like that, or do some little, I'll be right back after this announcement from our sponsors. You're right. Anyway, I figure I'll roll with this and see what happens. My vacation is over. Yeah, I was on vacation for a good almost 2 weeks, so I go back to work tonight. And you probably like, wait a minute, you work? Yep, got a full-time job. That's right. I couldn't run Rated F Gaming without it. I take all my money that I get from my full-time job that I've been actually uh, January this month to make 17 years I've been on the job with this company. And like I said in my previous podcast show, this is a good gaming business, but you don't make money off the top right away like that, man. You got to keep your day job. You got to have some income coming in to back up what you love to do. And like I said, with this full-time job that I got, that I've been there for some time, I used the money and the funding from that to how would you say, sponsor Rated F Gaming, buy whatever we need and stuff like that. We don't have any sponsors come in and endorsements and stuff like that. Everything that is put into Rated F Gaming is done by me. I'm the sponsor. I'm the corporate man. I'm the one that's funding this operation. And my son runs it, so he's like second in charge. So I'm like the co-founder CEO. He's like whatever you want to call his position. But yeah, but he's not here right now because he's doing what a young kid likes to do, get away some time from this. So it's just me running the whole scene. Well, we don't have a crew. We don't have a whole bunch of staff people working and stuff like that. And I was told that we can go in and get some people from the local colleges to come in that want to get credit to help us run this. And I was like, nah, we got this, man. Because you would have to sit down and train these people. And people are like, well, it's just gaming, man. What do you got to teach somebody? Just to pick up a controller and do this? Nah, it's more than that. I mean, this operation, we do all of our own in-house tech work, all of our own in-house repairs, all of our own in-house setup, engineering, editing, promotion, distributing. We do it all. Me and my son got this all covered. We're the two-man crew operation, just like a special spec op team or recon team that, you get a group of guys and they run the whole show. And basically that's what we do. So yeah, I mean, we're doing a pretty good job. It gets, like I said, it has its days, man, where things get rough and you want to quit. But like I told you, like I said, if you didn't hear that show I did earlier, to me, gaming is like a high. And I'm going to just keep it real. It's like a buzz. And I wake up and I enjoy doing this. Every day I get a chance to. It's like a rush for me. I mean, it's just my high. I could be at work, man, and all I think about, man, I get out of here, I'm going home to my Rated F Gaming studios, and I'm going to chill and see what ideas, what kind of stuff I'm going to come up with, and boom. And that makes my day. I could have a rough day, getting up, or a rough day on the street, or something happens, but when I get here to the Rated F Gaming studio, all that stuff just fades away. I'm just like a happy kid, But anyway, show's into about 23 minutes and 24. See, I got to watch the clock because there's a certain time on this app that allows you to, stay on the air. And I think it's like 30 minutes or so like that. And like I said, I'm just testing this out, see how it works, So far it's working pretty good. We'll see what happens as far as I don't know if it's going to record a backup copy so I can go back and review it and see how it came out, but I'm hoping it does. But anyway, guys, like I said, we're Rated F Gaming. We're out of Chicago. We're not a West Coast gaming company. We're a Chi-Town gaming company that's, been doing this for, I would say, a good 8 years now. And like I said, our name just changed last year to Rated F Gaming. And people are like, well, we add on the little Rated F Gaming studios because we have Studio A, which is our big setup, and then, of course, the little Studio B, which is our recording little area and stuff like that. And we do got a lot of things coming up for 2016. I mean, we're going to cross into everything. That's all I can tell you. I mean, I got a list of things that I sat down and I was going over with what Rated F Gaming is getting ready to get into for 2016. And we're talking about music. We're talking about probably even doing some movies. Hell, why not? We got an offer to go back to a couple of shows that are being shot here in Chicago that you probably heard of. We'll see what happens because rumors are that one of the #1 shows might be coming back. It might not be coming by. You probably heard of them, called Empire. So we're going to do another second walk through on the site and see what's happening. We might want to swing over to Chicago Fire, Chicago MD, because we know a couple of people over there that can get us on the set. So we'll see what happens. Then we got, of course, we still got our in-studio guests that we're going to be doing big this year in 2016. Like I said, we got Ozzie James is going to be coming back for his second appearance on the talk show that we got on the Radio F Gaming Talk Show, to see what he's been up to, because right now he's out in L.A., and he's so busy doing his movies and stuff like that. We kind of like conflict, because last year when we went to E3, we were supposed to meet up, and he was busy on a set doing a movie. So we couldn't even do that. But this year he promised us. We'll see if he's going to stick to his promise that we're going to hook up and go to E3 together. Because he said that he's been dying to go ever since he worked at GameStop back in the days. But now, like I said, he's a big movie star out there in L.A. doing a couple of his shows. He's movies he were in was called. He's in The Real Rob right now. So he's got his parts in that. He said the show got picked up. He did 2 scenes in Contagious 1 and Contagious 2, zombie movie and stuff like that. But like I said, if you want to check that out, that interview that I did with him, go to Rated F Gaming on YouTube, and you can see that interview. It's from last year. Like I said, we got a new one coming up this year. I'll definitely keep you guys up to date on that when he gets in, because he said he's going to come in next month on February for his birthday. So we're going to hang out and see what goes down and see what happens. And get him, we're definitely going to get him in here. And like I said, we got a couple other things lined up, as far as guests coming in and making some special appearances and so on, stuff like that. But anyway, guys, I'm 26 minutes and 54 seconds into the podcast show, and I got another 4 minutes to kill before this thing cuts off. Like I said, this is just a test show. I'm trying it out to see how it works, see if it's something that I could do. And I did say I wanted to get into podcasting. To me, honestly, it's no different than radio, And I did go to school for that. That's something I went to school for, radio broadcasting and communication. And honestly, I didn't do nothing with it, because when I graduated, to make a long story short, they were saying, I thought I was going to get on the air at one of my local stations, like, one of the big stations here. And they said, nah, it don't work like that. You got to go somewhere like to a small town, get the experience for a couple of years, and then come back. And I'm like, what do you mean a small town? And they were like Tennessee, or go to one of those small rare little rinky-dink radio stations. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that. And that's okay. So I framed it and just put it up on the shelf and didn't pursue that. But I went into the music industry, and like I said, did that for 15 years, learned everything about the music industry. And to make it short, I did promoting, distributing, manufacturing, bookings, road manager, agent, talk to distributors, talk to the record stores, talk to buyers, talk to record pools, radio stations, all of that. I ran that, and I ran not 1 but 3 Chicago independent labels. I ran my own label, of course, then I ran a second label. My label was Code 3 Records and Productions. I ran another label, which was mine, which was geared toward Latin, which was called International Latin House Records. And then I ran another label with another young lady that came to me, and she wanted to put out some music, so I went 50-50 on that project, what it called. Her name was Lisa. So I went with my initials and her name, so we went under the record. We put it together and came out with A&L Records, which stands for Antonio and Lisa, A&L Records, A&L or whatever. A&L Records and Productions or something like that. So I ran those companies for a good 5, 6, 7 years back and forth. Put out over 12, maybe 13 or 14 different on albums, vinyls, CDs, cassettes. Yep, did it all. And people like, man, that's a lot of work. But believe it or not, that was fun work. And if somebody asked me, would you do it all over again? Yep, I would love to do all of that all over again. But, everything has changed in the music industry. Everything is digital download. I mean, vinyl has come back. There's a demand for vinyl, and I just found this out last year. Even the pressing plants that had closed up that were doing vinyl and pressing vinyl, they're backlogged right now as we speak. they're so backlogged that it's like 3 to 6 months on orders, on waits to get vinyl. So everybody's doing the digital download and stuff like that, and that's what's taken over. And that's another thing I could leave for another show about how that's changing the gaming industry. A lot of people don't realize that what you play on Blu-ray or CD, it's going to fade out in the next year or two. And the reason for that is because they want to cut down on the piracy, they want to cut down on the bootlegging and all of that, because a lot of the game developers and a lot of the software developers are losing money to this. You know, you got a lot of people that hack this stuff. So this is where the video game industry is going in the next couple of years. A lot of people don't agree with it, because I was talking to another person about this. She was like, I don't agree with digital